Let's talk Stars Jets Game 5 tonight in Winnipeg, and Lia joins us now here on The Fan. And a good evening. How the heck are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing wonderful. How's Winnipeg? Are they keeping the faith alive there around the town, or what kind of a vibe are you getting from them?
Yeah, it's been a little quiet this morning. It was raining here, so their big white party that they have outside might be getting rained out, which I'm sure they're not going to be too happy about. But you know, this fan base has gone through a lot here, so I think they're hopeful to at least get one more win this season.
Yeah, if I'm the Jets, I'm pretty confident, right? Things are going to normalize back at home. It's just our road situation, and we'll think about that here in a couple of days. So we just got to win a road game, and things should be fine. Would you find confidence in that if you're objectively analyzing here the Jets' outlook?
Yeah, I mean they've been great at home all year, and you know they do just need to win a road game. But it's obviously they have a big climb to come out of a 3-1 hole. I mean the Stars I think should feel pretty good in the position that they're at. That game 4 the other night, just given their position in the series, was a critical one, and you know to go up 3-1, you got to feel pretty good. But obviously, you know Game 6 is if it goes to that is going to be the one that matters the most for them. But you know, knowing that Edmonton is done now, they're advancing to the Western Conference Finals. I'm sure the Stars would like to get out of this round as quickly as possible.
That was my thoughts exactly there, Lia. Like with Edmonton now, you don't want to give them added rest. But with the Stars and how amazing that home ice has been, the AAC, the fan base has just been exceptional. Even from the TV, you can just hear how loud it is in that building. How does it compare to Winnipeg, who also it does seem pretty electrifying? I mean, they do the white out there. They don't know how to do a pump-up song, Lia. But I
Yeah.
imagine the experience there in Winnipeg's pretty badass.
It is. I mean, it's hard to compare. It kind of feels like apples and oranges a little bit. I mean, yes, American Airlines Center has been unbelievable, and it always does really ramp up for the Stars playoffs. And you know, the environment was awesome the past couple of games, but I've compared the Winnipeg environment a lot to a kind of college football feel, you know, white out, Penn State kind of feel to it. It's, you know, that's what they have here. This is their everything, and you can really tell. And it's been kind of a tortured fan base in the playoffs, and you could just see how much they want, you know, something to root for. And I think the home ice advantage helps them, and that's probably why it's so impressive the Stars were able to at least steal one game here, and we'll see if they can do another one tonight.
Lia, which team has to survive the first 10 minutes better, do you think? Because I just feel like that if Winnipeg looks at the other end of the ice and they look at their netminder, they're kind of thinking like, man, we really don't know what game we might get from him tonight. And where on the other end, I think the Stars are kind of like, listen, our guy can withstand whatever mistakes we might make, but which team has to withstand the first 10 minutes of this game?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I think the Stars do. I think, you know, we saw the response that Winnipeg had after going down 1-0 and losing a game at home in the series, how they responded early in Game 2. I mean, 7 minutes into that game, they were up 2-0 after a costly penalty 17 seconds in, and then a shot that went off Essa Lindell's skate and in. So, you know, the Stars can't find themselves in another early hole like that, and they know that, you know, Winnipeg is going to push early, and their entire season is on the line at this point. So, yes, I think the goaltending situation is interesting, and the Stars can definitely rely on Jake Ottinger, and he's bailed them out a lot. But, you know, they need to play just a solid road game, few mistakes, and the first 10 minutes are going to be pretty important.
Getting you set for Game 5 tonight in Winnipeg, Jets and the Stars with Lia Assimakopoulos, the Dallas Morning News. So I saw you put out they're running with the same line tonight. So we're going 11-7 again, and do you anticipate with Miro kind of getting his legs back, is that going to be a long-term thing for the rest of the postseason, or is this just until he's ready to rock for a full 30 minutes of ice time or whatever it is?
Yeah, I don't anticipate it to be the rest of the postseason. I mean, maybe the rest of this round, as long as it goes. Maybe, you know, if it ends tonight, a game or two against Edmonton. I mean, they liked how he looked in the first game. Obviously, he wasn't his total normal self, but like for the most part, you know, he did what he needed to do in his 15 minutes. And Pete DeBoer said this morning, you know, he felt great after 15 minutes. So we'll give him a little more tonight and go from there. And you know, hopefully within 2-3 games from now, he's back to his 25 plus minutes a night.
You have an article out now about the increased contributions from a couple other stars. The line that's really stood out to me, and I wonder your thoughts, is Marchment, Duchesne, and Sagan. And there were moments early in the season where it seemed like Duchesne and Marchment stepped up as the best players at times. Yeah. They've been taking some bad penalties, whether it was Sagan the other night, Marchment throughout the playoffs at times. But Duchesne just seems so close, just doinking right off the post there. What do you think about that line getting it going?
Yeah, I mean, that I think could be a huge game changer for them. I think all three of those players have kind of another level to find. And as you mentioned, we saw it earlier in the regular season. They were not only the best line on the team, but one of the best lines in the entire league before Sagan had his hip surgery. So, they obviously have a lot of chemistry, a lot of history. Duchesne has been a factor. I mean, he set up the game-winning goal in Game 7 for Wyatt Johnston. Like, he's had his moments. And Pete DeVore was asked about it, and he said, he's not too concerned about Matt Duchesne. He feels like he's had a presence. But, yeah, he's right there. He scored over 30 goals in the regular season, so they could certainly use a few from him. And, I think it's just a matter of time before that line really gets going, too.
Leah, how impressed are you that Zach is able to break into a Canadian accent when he asks you a question?
Love it. I'm not there yet.
I didn't even notice him.
He's pretty good. We got Bully Melrose is who we're dealing with now, if you didn't know this.
It's true.
That's great.
Well, speaking of different countries, Lia Assimakopoulos, Morning News with you here in the GBAG Nation. How prevalent is this Finnish connection? Obviously, we talk about it a lot here. Is this like the official team of Canada now? Give us like the nation, the big view of this.
Oh, I mean, I think, yeah, there's going to forever be just this unspoken bond between the country of Finland and the city of Dallas. I mean, it's been pretty incredible what that group has been able to do. And, as trivial and silly as it sounds, they've attributed a lot of the success that some of those players like Rantanen and Granlund have had to just like feeling comfortable in the locker room, coming in and knowing there's other Finns. And it's not just other Finns, but it's like Finns that they've played with before in international competition and juniors and all sorts of levels. So, Rantanen comes in and plays on a line with Roope Hintz, and they know each other well, and it's just, you speed up that process a little bit. So I think it does go a long way, and it's not insignificant, and there's a reason that Finnish players want to come play here because it's a great place for them to play, and they have a little group, and they all really love to play with each other. So yeah, I think the whole city of Dallas has the country of Finland to thank right now for sure.
Leah, what do you have to say to a Stars fan who's at the AAC witnessing a hat trick right in front of their eyeballs? They're wearing a hat and they don't throw it. They walk out of the building, they're still wearing their hat. How much judgment do you have for that fan?
I would have judgment if it hadn't happened 3 times this year. I mean, people have probably spent hundreds of dollars in hats at this point. I guess one of them happened here in Winnipeg, but yeah, at this point, it's going to just happen every other night. So you gotta budget for some new hats. That's what I'd say to them.
How much is the storyline? Is this more media driven, or do you think there's really something to this between Ottinger and Hellebuck and the starting goalie for the U.S. team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely media-driven, but I will say that Ottinger we've asked him a lot about it, and for the most part, he's kind of said, I haven't thought at all about it, but he did a post-game interview with Sportsnet the other night and did say, beyond winning a Stanley Cup, his number one goal is to be the U.S. starter next year. So he's definitely thinking about it, and I mean, this has, obviously, both teams are playing in this series to, advance in the playoffs to win a Stanley Cup, but Pete DeBoer talked about it yesterday and said, if you're, putting Team USA together, he's been on a lot of Team Canada teams before. You're watching the playoffs and you're seeing, how are these players reacting and responding, because, when you're going into the Olympics, you're basically bypassing a regular season. It's like immediately showing up to the playoffs. So, what Connor Hellebuck did in the regular season really won't matter as much if the stakes are as high as they are in the Olympics. So I do think this series is going to play a role in that. And, I mean, Ottinger's been the outright better goalie, and I don't think there's much question about it.
How big of a role does it play that it's hard to eliminate a team on their home ice? Is that real?
It's hard to eliminate a team, period, especially the President's Trophy winners, especially on home ice. So, yeah, I think it's definitely real. I mean, the Stars had a chance to do it in Colorado in the first round and weren't able to do it. Kind of similar to last year. They had a chance to do it in Vegas in the first round, didn't, and went to 7. Then the second round, they did do it in Game 6 in Colorado. So hopefully they can learn from what they weren't able to get done in Colorado and turn things around tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Enjoy your evening, and we look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thanks so much.